Welcome, one and all present here. Myself, Vaibhav Bhatia from Udaipur Institute of Physiotherapy, Udaipur. I am pursuing BPT Part 3. Today I present with a lecture on thoracic outlet syndrome. Firstly, we start basics on thoracic outlet syndrome. Now I share my screen. Now my topic is thoracic outlet syndrome. Firstly, we start with definition. What did you mean by thoracic outlet syndrome? Now, thoracic outlet syndrome is a collection of symptoms brought about by abnormal compression of the neurovascular bundle. Now, it is a collection of symptoms. Basically, we all know that syndromes means collection of symptoms, and thoracic outlet means the region of thoracic outlet. When neurovascular bundles are compressed, so thoracic outlet syndrome occurs. In neurovascular bundles, basically we divide it into three parts. First, bony, second, ligamentous, and third, muscular obstructors. Now, we know about thoracic outlet syndrome. Now, we know about thoracic outlet space. The space between clavicle and first rib, known as thoracic outlet space. Now, we saw in this thoracic outlet space. In this area, thoracic outlet syndrome occurs. That clearly shown in figure 1. We know that when compression of neurovascular bundle, so thoracic outlet syndrome occurs. Here, we clearly shown that scalene muscles and brachial plexus and subclavian vein and subclavian artery, when all are compressed, so thoracic outlet syndrome occurs. Now we discuss about epidermology. Epidermology. Generally, we shown thoracic outlet syndrome in 20 to 50 years categories, and basically in more than females. We seen that less than 5% present in teenagers, 10% over 50-year-olds, and rarely present in 65 year and above. In basically teenagers, we saw thoracic outlet syndrome in congenital. In 50%, 50 year, we saw 10% because in this period our hand movement is more, and rarely 65. 60 in 65% basically through muscle weakness. Or the cervical rib present in females. The cervical ribs is an external rib that present in women that increase the chances of thoracic outlet syndrome. Now we discuss about who is affected by thoracic outlet syndrome. Basically in thoracic outlet syndrome, all genders are occurs, but they are common in athletes because in athletes the shoulder movements are more. They repetitive move, they The sports participants are repetitive motions of arm and shoulders in such of sports like baseball, swimming, volleyball, and other sports. Neurogenic toss is most common form of the disorder. Basically, toss is characterized in three forms. First is neurogenic toss, second is arterial toss, and third is Vance toss. They occur 95% in neurogenic toss. In neurogenic toss, all nerves bundles, bony particles, and muscles are compressed. So 95% neurogenic toss is seen in essence. Generally, it affects middle-aged women because they work in kitchen. Recent studies have shown that in general, toss is more common in women than men. Recently, recently studies show that toss is more than in women because their poor posture, poor muscle development, and both. Now, everyone know about anatomy of toss. We seen that posteriorly T1 vertebral body is present and laterally first rib and costal cartilage is present and anteriorly manubrium sternum is present. That's shown in figure. Be clear about it. We have seen in this posteriorly T1 vertebral body is shown. Laterally we seen first rib and costal cartilage and anteriorly we seen manubrium sternum. Now thoracic outlet syndrome is subdivided into three spaces. Thoracic outlet is subdivided into three spaces, that is, interscalene triangle, gastroclavicular spaces, and pectoralis minor. We see in figure 4 interscalene triangle. They present in between scalene muscles. Postoclavicular space. Now second figure shows figure 5th gastroclavicular space. Now it's present in clavicular and intercostal region. And in figure 6 pectoralis minor is generally shown. Now we discuss about content. In generally, we see in brachial plexus, subclavian artery, and subclavian vein is generally harmed. When compression of TOS, the affected on brachial plexus, subclavian artery, and subclavian vein. When brachial plexus is affected, so our arm, hand are shows numbness, weakness, and etc. due to brachial plexus compression. When subclavian artery is compressed, so seen poor poor blood circulation. And when subclavian vein is compressed, so we seen ischemia in our distal fingers. Now we discuss about causes of TOS. Generally, we know about neurovascular bundles. So the TOS causes is affected on neurovascular bundles like bony abnormalities, soft tissue abnormalities, and posture. Posture considered as poor posture and weak muscular support in thin women. They generally shown in thin women because their posture is doesn't perfect and muscles are very weak due to their body composition. Now we discuss about bony abnormalities. They present generally in cervical rib and first rib, because in this exostosis or tumor of the first rib or clavicle exostosis due to more pressure present on first rib and clavicular rib that is affected. And another abnormality is elongated C7 transverse process. Now we discuss about soft tissue abnormalities in which fibrous band, congenital variation, insertion variation, supernumerary muscles, hypertrophied muscles, acquired soft tissue abnormalities, post-traumatic fibrous scarring, and post-operative scarring. Generally, we seen scarring on shoulders. Now we then discuss about the main presentation of TOS on body. Literally, we put your fingers on your shoulder and feel a V shape present here. This V shape shows our TOS, thoracic outlet space. When this area or region is compressed, so thoracic outlet syndrome occurs. Now we discuss about some main causes, just like sleep disorders, tumors, stress or depression, stress or depression due to pain, repetitive injuries. We discuss about repetitive motion of shoulder. So that region, repetitive injury occurs in shoulder. Injury to the neck or back pain. We feel whiplash injury in neck or back due to exhausted of or stress on shoulder. Poor posture or weightlifting. In weightlifting cases, TOS is generally considered due to repetitive motion of arm. Type of toss that we later discuss about. Toss is three types. First is neurogenic toss, second is venous toss, and third is arterial toss. When neurogenic toss occur when our neurovascular bundle is compressed. When veins, our shoulder veins are compressed, so venous toss is present, and when arteries is compressed, our arterial toss is present. Arterial toss they present in lateral condition. Venous toss is generally 2 and 3% people, and maximum we seen neurogenic toss. Now we discuss about neurogenic thoracic outlet syndrome. It is a condition of abnormality of bony and soft tissue in lower neck region. May include the cervical rib area that compress and irritate the nerves of the brachial plexus. When when they compress, brachial plexus nerves are irritate and supply movement, supply motor and sensory function to the arm. Complex to supply arm and hands. Symptoms include weakness or numbness of the hand, decreased size of hand muscles, which usually occurs on one side of the body. They generally shown in one side of body. Some symptoms just like pain, tickling, prickling, numbness, and weakness of the neck, chest, and arms due to compression of brachial plexus. Now we discuss about venous thoracic outlet syndrome. In venous thoracic outlet syndrome, major veins supply in lower neck and upper chest. Due to this, damage are present in lower neck and upper chest. The condition develops suddenly, often after unusual and tearing exercise of the arms. This is due to more exercise of arms and without stretching, without warm up, we do movement of our arms. In this, we seen some symptoms are swelling on hands, fingers, and arms, as well as heaviness and weakness of the neck and arms. The veins in the anterior chest wall veins also may appear dilated. In lateral chest wall, we see some swelling as occur due to chest wall veins are compressed. Arteriothoracic outlet syndrome, the least common but most serious. It is most serious injury or syndrome due to the effect on blood circulation. When blood circulation is affected, so we feel cold sensitivity in hands and fingers, numbness, pains, and sores of the finger, and poor blood circulation in hands and fingers. They present rare, very rare, but it's very harmful or serious. Now we discuss about symptoms of all of them. Generally, we seen pain, numbness, weakness in hands, extension to shoulder, neck, upper back, not infrequently. We can't move frequently our shoulder, neck, upper back muscles due to compression of neurovascular bundles. We seen upper plexus disorders, lower plexus disorders, headache, muscle weakness, and edema, or digital, digital or hand ischemia. Now we seen in figure 7 digital or hand ischemia. Generally, we've seen bleeds in this registers. And it is due to Queen's contractions. Diagnosis. Now we discuss about diagnosis. Diagnosis is very important because they help to know about patients' conditions. They also help in our treatment plans. Firstly, we discuss about history. History is more important in athlete patients. Due to basis of history, we know about their later injuries and their body body health. Now we discuss about physical examination. Due to history, we know about patient situations, just like we treatment like operative or non-operative on the basis of this. Physical examination, pulse examination. In physical examination, we operate pulse examination. In we palpate on radial nerve and move their arm up in abduction, adduction, external rotation, and internal rotation. We know about this in upcoming slides. Tenderness over scalene muscle. We seen tenderness in scalene muscles. It is due to compression of scalene muscle. Reduced sensation. Sensation is lost due to motor or sensory nerves are compressed. And special tests they we discuss about upcoming slides. Now we discuss about imaging diagnosis. On the basis of imaging diagnosis, we know all about the patient situations. In X-ray, we know about bones, just like cervical rib, elongated C7 transverse process, hypoplastic first rib, callus formation from clavicle or first rib fracture, pseudoarthritis of first rib, or so more. In X-ray, we generally know about bones, but in CT and MRI, we know about ATOS and VTOS syndromes. Because in X-ray, we can't see in ATOS and VTOS syndromes. In CT and MRI are considered for it. In ATOS syndrome, we generally consider angiography due to proper investigation about that. And in VTOS syndrome, we discuss about venography. They help in to know proper way of VTOS. And in latest, we know about MR neurography, in which we know about all of that. Now we discuss about special tests. First is Addison test. In this, we can fit our 50% healthy volunteers due to examination of radial pulse. That I that I say previous slides. In this, we say patient to in sitting position and we palpate. Physiotherapist palpate their radial nerve and they will go with external rotation. Patient is asked to take a deep breath and hold it. When they go exercises of shoulders, so we can say that to patient to take a deep breath. In this, firstly we extend the shoulder or forearm with palpate on radial nerve. Then update our arm and hands and externally rotate our arm, patient arms. The patient is asked to take a deep breath now. Positive if the examiner. Now how can we get it's positive or negative? When we do these movements, when sufficient decreases in strength or complete disappearance of radial pulse shows the positive symptoms. When we can't palpate radial nerve or we can't feel radial pulse, so that is Addison test is positive. Now we discuss about another case that is Roos test. In this most accurate clinical test, elevated arm stress test. It is also known as elevated arm stress test. In this, we hold the patient arm in surrender position for 3 minutes and then say to opening and closing the hands. After 3 minutes, we seen if loose test is positive, we seen heaviness, progressive weakness, numbness, tickling in fingers, processing up arm in patient's hand. Now in VTOS, cyanotic arm with distended forearm bands. We feel cyanotic arms in VTOS. And ATOS, generally we feel ischemic or cramping pain. It is very popular in east side. According to both tests, we consider its TOS is present or not. Now we discuss about treatment. Treatment are two types, non-operative treatment and operative treatment. Firstly, we discuss about discuss about operative treatment. In operative treatment, generally we consider surgery. In surgery, we decide two types of surgeries. First is scalenotomy, and second is thrombectomy. In scalenotomy, due to weakness of scalene muscles, and thrombectomy is due to treatment of TOS. Now we generally discuss about non-operative treatment. Non-operative treatment generally considered in three types: physiotherapy, pain control, and exercise. Now, physiotherapy and pain control mechanism. Firstly, therapists must have experience in evaluation and treatment of NTOS. Now, we everyone know about therapists must be experienced. In most of cases, we seen that therapists can't experience and they treat TOS. This is very harmful to patient and therapist itself due to they give improper results and increase the pain of TOS. 20 to 30% of patients respond and do not require surgical treatment. Generally, 20 to 30% patients respond due to physiotherapy and do not respond. They we have considered surgical treatment. Increase the space in the thoracic outlet area and to relieve compression on the neurovascular. The first aim of physiotherapist is increase the space that is due to compression in thoracic outlet area and to relieve compression on the neurovascular and also we relieve neurovascular bundle compressions. Postural changes and correct faulty posture and we consider the correct posture of the body. Now we generally normal protocols is manipulate the first rib, clavicular rib, scapular rib, and mobilize pectoralis muscle. Then strengthen the shoulder and stretch scalene muscle. It is all depend on physiotherapist on their mind which type of treatment they use for TOS patient. And nowadays so many treatments are present of NTOS. So we choose widely. But now treatment of painkillers like NSAIDs, muscle relaxants, TENS, and scalene block. We all know about NSAIDs, muscle relaxants, and TENS. Now we discuss about scalene block. In scalene block, we insert a anesthesia injection in scalene muscles to block it for relief pain. Exercise. Generally, we exercise that are neck exercise, neck side bending exercise, neck rotation exercise, neck flexion exercise, shoulder exercise, shrugging of shoulder exercise, pendulum exercise, etc. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Hope everyone understand clearly and thank you.